What's up everybody, Berg's here to make you fall in love with all things physical therapy, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get that recommendation letter. We're starting right now. So if you're looking to get into physical therapy school, or any grad school for that matter, then you're going to have somebody recommend you for admission. It's like applying to a job. If any physical therapy programs are going to consider you for admission, then they're going to want to hear from the people that are speaking on your behalf. And let me repeat that, speaking on your behalf. That means whoever's writing that thing better know the name of your favorite TV show, the name of your high school sweetheart, your favorite ice cream. Hey, they need to know where your mama stay, where your daddy stay, where your grandma stay. I got this. Really? You told the viewers you're starting right now. You haven't started. You know what? I'm not doing this today. No, not today. So basically what he's trying to say here is that you better have a relationship with whoever's writing that recommendation. And if you haven't established a relationship yet, let's start working on that right now. Let's start with the college professors, right? If you're still in college, show up for classes and ask questions. Pop up during office hours, man, and just, initiate a conversation. Chances are they have pictures of their wife, kids, husband lying around. So ask them about that. People love talking about their kids, man. So do that. And make sure you mention your goals and aspiration, and then ask for advice. That's the best way to create a relationship with your college professor, and at the same time, make sure recommendation is in the bag for the future. Now, if you're not in college anymore, I can understand how it can be a little bit difficult and even awkward to ask for recommendation out of the blue. So the way you proceed about this is similar to how you would ask your former boss or supervisor for a reference, right? You message them or you send them an email, message them on LinkedIn, basically to just trying to reconnect. Mention something like, hey, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. Basically what you do here is establish a line of communication, and by that you can already sense that you're not going to send just one email. You're going to send like 2 or 3 back and forth email until you get to the main point. And once things have warmed up a little bit, then that's when you ask for that recommendation. You say something like, hey, I know you're a busy person, but I'm very interested in going to physical therapy school, and I found my passion. I'm very dedicated to get to my goals. I would like your support. Can you please write me a recommendation? Sounds nice. It is nice, isn't it? It's funny, but I don't remember you doing all that, though. Here we go again. Oh my God. Dude, you're missing the whole point. You're acting like you applied the same advice as you're telling those people. I seem to remember you sent Dr. Gaines just one email. What the hell? Okay. Dude, remember when I first applied to PT school and I got rejected by every school? Right? Remember that? Not only that my GPA was super low, but my recommendations weren't strong either. The 2 professors that wrote me the recommendation, I barely talked to them. And one of them sent it like a day before my application was due. Like, what do you want me to do? Excuse me if I don't want my viewers to repeat the same mistake that I did. All right. Personally, I think the physical therapist recommendation is the best recommendation out of all of them, because the PT is already practicing in the field, so they know what it takes to be a physical therapist, and they can sense whether or not you'll be a right fit for the profession. So the best way to ask a PT for a recommendation, like I said many times before, is to work or intern at that place where that PT is working. By working with the PT, you'll be treating patients together with that person. You'll be eating lunch together. You experience the same frustration, and it will be so much easier to ask for recommendation that way. It will be a piece of cake because you already have established a strong rapport with that person. You guys have gone through many things, many patients together. So, it's easier to do it that way. Not to say that you can't ask for recommendation if you're only observing, but think about it. No place, at least I will feel weird if I'm standing in a place for like 50 hours just observing and not helping. And I don't think any place or hospital will let you, an extra body, be there not doing anything and just observing for too long. How many hours you get then? 50, 20, 25? Anything after that, you should really consider, becoming a more valuable member to that person, because at least now when you become an aide, you can help. But when you're an observer, you just observe. It makes more sense to me if you can actually help So get that job, get that internship at the hospital or at the clinic and work side by side with a PT. When you do that, asking for recommendation is a piece of cake, really. After you persuade that person to write your recommendation, then the next thing to do is to provide that person a template to follow. Not everyone's gonna want a template from you, but if you have one, it makes their life so much easier. You know, there are so many things going on throughout a person's day that you might get forgotten, or worse, get a half-assed recommendation. By having a template, you know, you're making sure that you're a little bulletproof. So I got this idea of template from my boy, Alex Angar. Alex is the creator of Habit Hat Podcast, and he did a live stream on the pre-DPT group on Facebook talking about template. Here's what he had to say.
And in that email, I would include, hey, thanks so much for offering to, or for accepting to give me a letter of recommendation. I think that it would be great if you could talk about your experience with me with regards to how I take care of patients or my reliability or whatever. Have a strategic plan in place. Every letter of recommendation should be a little bit different. And Joseph talked about this in a post earlier. Everyone should have a different perspective. So one can be talking about how good you are with patients. One can be talking about how reliable, how friendly, how interested in learning you are, how smart you are, whatever. Have them each focus on something different so that the people reading those letters get a complete picture of you. And you can kind of frame that for people. People like having direction when they're writing a letter of recommendation. So don't feel bad giving them the opportunity to write a letter that's very specific to what your need is. They'll appreciate that guidance.
You also mentioned that you should write a reminder email 2 to 3 weeks to that person that's writing you that recommendation. You want to have everything in by the time you hit that submit button. After you receive that recommendation, then make sure you send a thank you email or a small gift to that person. Go on their Facebook business page or their LinkedIn and write them a recommendation or a review. You know, return the favor any way you can. Earlier, I mentioned that the same way you ask your professor for a recommendation is the same way you ask your boss for a recommendation. So that means that some school are going to ask a recommendation from your boss or your supervisor. And I know some of you don't really see eye to eye or care to create a relationship with your boss. So here's how to go about this. Get someone from the same company to speak on your behalf, preferably someone at the same level as your boss. Guys, if you don't remember anything from this video, just go home with this. Create a relationship, provide a template, and return the favor. Guys, I want to make sure you get a strong recommendation letter. Remember that scene from The Devil Wears Prada where Angie was trying to find a new job after she had left Miranda's office?
I called over there for a reference. Left word with some snooty girl. Next thing you know, I got a fax from Miranda Priestley herself, saying that of all the assistants she's ever had, you were by far her biggest disappointment. And if I don't hire you, I am an idiot. Must have done something right.
That's the kind of backing I want you all to get, you know, minus the disappointing part. But you get what I'm saying. Wait, you've actually watched that movie? Yeah, that's the end of the video for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. You know the character's name and everything. Come back here.